So welcome everyone on this special workshop that will be mostly hosted and led by Eugene Smit from South Africa as one of our teachers in the Wize Move Society. My name is Ingun Bol and I'm the founder and CEO of the Wize Move Society and Moving to the Future. It's really great that we are again heading towards the start of the Experienced Entrepreneurship Program, which is a 7-week session. We'll share more about it to awaken that entrepreneurial mindset in all those like us, a little bit more mature, aging, and really looking forward to get that started again on April 3. And there are always so many questions. So Eugene volunteered this time to share a little bit about from his knowledge and what we're going to do in the program, but also to give you more a feeling of what will be happening. So Eugene, the floor is yours.
Great, thanks Ingun. All right, let me just share my screen here. Okay. All right, can you see my screen? Seeing the presentation, great, okay. So, as Ingun said, welcome. We're delighted that you've taken the step to join us this afternoon, Susan, and for your curiosity to attend the workshop and to explore this concept with us a little bit. We understand that new beginnings can sometimes be quite dramatically scary, threatening, causes anxiety, and starting from scratch feels like it's quite a tough thing to do. But the reality is that the older we get, the more decades we have that grounds our experience, and the less intimidating it should be to start over again or to start something new. So what I wanted to do, and I was obviously hoping that there were a couple more people here, but maybe just a quick introduction. Who are you and why are you here? What brought you to this session today? So Susan, if I can start with you, since you're the delegate on the line.
Hello, can you hear me, Eugene?
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. And thank you for just listening rather than seeing right now. My house coat's olive green. It's not my best color. So my husband and I are sitting in bed. It's 7 a.m. On Vancouver Island right now, and we're enjoying some very strong European coffees, and we're going to really enjoy your presentation. So Susan Isaac, and I own Susan Isaac Design. I'm a glass artist and designer, and I teach glass workshops to people who say they're not creative, that they're here to support their friend for an outing. And I just love the aha moment, like Oprah says, to when they realize they can make something as beautiful as their friend. So I do a number of different things, making one-of-a-kind custom pendants so people can wear their true personality close to their heart. And my husband is a cybersecurity architect. And right now he's looking for contract work rather than full-time. He's very done with the C-suite of the corporate world in terms of being ensconced in full-time corporate, and he has a lot of experience in that area. And the two of us are looking at expanding our property and considering glamping, because we love creating experiences for people. So we're looking at the entrepreneurial piece in terms of starting up that sort of business, and of course expanding the business that I've already started to create.
Fantastic. Great. Robert, would you mind introducing yourself?
Of course, Eugene. My name is Robert Vos. I'm based in the Netherlands. And like Ingun just told us, the spring is starting over here. The bulb fields are getting full of bloom. The Keukenhof, which is a permanent exhibition of Dutch flowers, it has been opened. So it's lovely to be here. I am a trainer coach, and actually I'm also part of this entrepreneurship program, the Experienced Entrepreneurship Program. The topics I cover are branding, making sure that people understand what your service or your product is all about. Make this a customer experience, a customer journey. And the second topic I'm involved with is the money part. The income, the expenses, and making sure that there is a certain balance in such a way that you earn more than you put in the company. As far as coaching is concerned, I'm primarily coaching men, but especially women who want to advance within their organization to the top. So diversity, equity, and inclusion is a major topic in my coaching. So far, so good.
Thanks, Robert.
And looking forward to your webinar, Eugene.
Great, thanks, Robert. Okay, so Susan, I'm Eugene Smit. I'm an independent consultant as well. Live in South Africa and specialize in organization development and change, transformation type of work. Do a fair amount of strategy development, design and implementation work, and have done that for a number of clients over the years, and then manage large change processes for clients as well. My other specialty is I specialize in the application or operationalization of neuroscience, and I'm associated with 4 different academic institutions where I use neuroscience to help clients understand how to better collaborate, how to better lead, manage teams, make decisions, etc. So that's the background. I'm associated with Wize Move Society, and am one of the teachers together with Robert on the Experienced Entrepreneur Program. So today is really an opportunity for us just to explore a little bit what it is that we do on the program, and to give you an opportunity to see a little bit of showcasing of some of our thinking and how the program came about. So I'll talk more about the program in a minute or so, and give credit to Elizabeth Isele when we chat a little bit about that, so that you understand how the process came together and why we are talking to you. So the first thing that I want to just start off with is this notion of, is age a deterrent? And does age impact your ability to start a entrepreneurial venture? And I love this little skateboard because it reminds me of a little old lady that's rolling down on the side of the hill. And when we look at some of the studies that have been done, we see that 5 years after startup ventures, younger entrepreneurs, only about 28% of them are still in business after 5 years. So it's a smaller group. Have I lost you? Okay. Okay, there we go. So it's a smaller group of people that survive, whereas if you look at the older entrepreneurs, up to 70% of their ventures are still active and surviving after 5 years. So quite a significant shift. Okay. Have I lost you? Have I still got you with me?
It's my fault. I stopped sharing your screen, and now I'm sharing my screen. So you just
okay.
Okay, next.
I was confused as to what
my
was
mistake,
going
yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me share my screen again. There
Then
we
I
go.
have to stop. Okay.
No problem. Okay, there we go. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
You had me there. So So looking at the notion of what is the key difference between these stats, then the crucial factor certainly is experience and life experience and those decades of developing thinking. So being an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily need to be born with it, but certainly requires a little bit of hard work and requires that you do the right level of thinking. So we're going to explore a little bit around it and also understand that in addition to hard work, it's also a mindset that we need to develop, and it needs to be nourished on an ongoing basis. So we need to understand that it's not just driving down into a direction, but rather driving down in a well thought through direction with the right attitude, right behaviors, and right mindset that supports it. So there's a beautiful work and a book by called The Innovator's DNA by Dyer, Gregerson, and Christie, where they talk about 5 discovery skills that successful innovators have to acquire, and these all apply equally and equally to entrepreneurs. So these are some of the skills that we explore during the program, and I'm only going to explore the one skill in particular this afternoon and just talk around associational thinking a little bit. Of course, I did premise my background in neuroscience. So surprise, surprise, I'm going to talk a little bit about the brain when we talk about thinking and try and understand what is associational thinking. So it's when we try to make sense of some new information. So our brains strive to connect those dots between a number of different types of or pieces of information, and it also explores at the same time our previous experience and behavior and beliefs that hang together. And associational thinking is the process of trying to put together all of these unrelated bits of thinking to help us improve our ideas and solutions. So older adults have far more dots to connect and far more years of knowing what works, what doesn't work, and how that process of information actually guides us and helps us. So one of the things that is close to my own belief is this notion of, can the brain be rewired? And I know that a lot of people still live in the myth that the brain is pretty much fully wired by the time we get to 18. And if you go back in the theoretical history about 25 years ago, this would still have been a very strong scientific belief that the brain is fully hardwired by 18 and then slowly just deteriorates from there. New research and current research teaches us that the brain is neuroplastic and that neurons that fire together wire together, and over time that creates the ability to change not only from a behavioral perspective, but physiologically, biologically, as a result of stimulation. So by creating intentional and conscious actions, we rewire the way that we think. And if we practice it regularly, we build new processes. And I refer to these as autopilot processes. And these tools and new processes then get woven into our automatic behaviors. So they become our new automatic behaviors. We refer to this concept as attention density. So that which you practice and focus on will create new wiring over time, which will help the old wiring break up. And that's the concept of neuroplasticity. So important for us to understand that as we go through this new way of thinking and experiencing and exploring entrepreneurial thinking and finding our entrepreneurial spirit, that we need to follow through with it enough so that we actually start developing new behaviors, and those new behaviors become fairly automatic. So just a little bit of neuroscience research around that. We spend somewhere between 90 to 98% of our awake time in the unconscious thinking part of our brain. Now, I don't mean that when I say unconscious that you're comatose or passed out. It's the automatic behaviors. And I like to use the example of driving a car to explain how this autopilot thinking works and how it plays out. So when you first had to learn how to drive a car, you had to focus on each and every aspect separately. You're the clutch and the handbrake and the steering wheel and the indicator stick and the seat belts and the mirrors and whatever else. When you get into a vehicle now to drive, none of those thoughts are in the conscious mind. It's a map which we've developed, and it's an automatic map. And it's that automatic nature of the brain, which we refer to as the heuristic thinking part. So it bases actions on previous experience, previous behaviors, previous knowledge. And if we don't consciously interrogate that, then we get caught in those repetitive behaviors. So the entrepreneurial workshop that we run will help to build the conscious exploration of some of your entrepreneurial spirit, which will help you to, if you focus on it for long enough, to create those new pathways and to help you to explore the new thinking. So let me just give you a little bit of an example and a feel for it, because otherwise it becomes quite theoretical and academic. And so I like to play little games. Can I ask you just to put on your microphone, and can I ask Robert and Ingen to play as well? Okay. Susan, can you, are you able to speak? There we go. Great. So what you see here is a slide that refers to the error detection network, and it's a network that sits behind the orbs of the eye, so hence the orbitofrontal cortex. But it's not about that. It's more about the experience. So I'm going to give you two words, and I want you to respond to the two words. So I want to hear your voice. I want to see a facial expression if you've got your camera on. I want you to respond and not just to sit there quietly or staring at the camera. Okay. So is everybody ready? Yeah? Yes. So I'm going to give you two words and just respond to the two words. So the two words are red bananas.
Wrong.
Love Robert's expression. Susan? Okay. All right. So what you've just experienced is that error detection message, because it doesn't, red bananas doesn't fit into our current map structure, because we don't know about red bananas unless you've been to Madagascar or perhaps parts of Australasia, perhaps parts of India. Red bananas do exist. You can look at the details on the screen, but they are higher in vitamin C and carotene levels. They have a raspberry banana flavor, and they exist. But because we're not exposed in large parts of the Western world to red bananas, when I say red bananas, that's a meaningless concept for us. You have that error detection response. So why is this important for me? Okay. It's important at the outset of going on a new program to say which responses will drive me into my automatic error detection space, where I will reject some of the information out of hand without thinking it through, without exploring it deeply. And it's driven by things like my mindset, which has developed over many, many years, which we'll explore just now. So we've got to be aware of when that error detection message jumps in and stops us from exploring things with an open and a conscious mind. So that's the reason why I like to play with this concept, just to show you how easy it is for us to fall into that trap of sticking with what we know rather than moving into what we want to learn. And being sufficiently aware of our natural biological defense mechanism, which makes us reject things out of hand. One of my favorites, particularly when I talk to corporates, so this will resonate with your husband, Susan, in organizations. I often, when I deal with change, I hear people say, oh, that'll never work here, which is an error detection statement. Or they go, no, we tried that 10 years ago and it didn't work. And my favorite question after that is, so what did you have for dinner last Tuesday? Because if you can't even remember what you had for dinner last Tuesday, how do you remember what happened 10 years ago and how the circumstance is exactly the same as the problem we're dealing with currently? So, so just a little game to get you to rapidly understand how the brain tricks us into moving into the wrong space. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about entrepreneurial mindset. And what is an entrepreneurial mindset? What does it mean to have an entrepreneurial mindset? And the first thing is that we've got to speak about a set of beliefs. So if I look at how beliefs develop over the years, so beliefs develop from both a nurture and a nature perspective. So some of our beliefs are transferred through our DNA structure. There's a whole study on epigenetics where we carry some traumatic memories 3 generations down, which makes up some of our beliefs. So some of our beliefs aren't even our own beliefs. They're genetically DNA transferred beliefs. The other beliefs that we develop are through nurture, where we observe our parents in how they act. And if you just look at a simple example of the gender roles, if you grow up in an environment, in a family where dad sits on the couch in the evening having his beer, and mom is in the kitchen cooking and cleaning and doing all the household chores, then that is a belief that will over the years become your belief, that that's the way things are. Then you land up marrying a partner which doesn't have the same belief. And you can see how the conflict starts developing, because now the woman does not believe it's her responsibility to cook every night, and the man doesn't believe it's his responsibility to cook ever, or to shop, or to clean anything. So can you see how these beliefs actually drive us? So what are your beliefs around your entrepreneurial mindset, and how does that impact you? So these are some of the things that will get you to explore. I've spoken a little bit about thought processes, in particular heuristic thinking, which is using my past knowledge to apply it blindly to the current circumstance, the error detection type of process that comes out. So if I don't consciously and deliberately explore the new information in my space and say, how will I take this forward? What will I do with this information? Then I will get stuck into rejecting some of the information out of hand, saying, oh, that'll never work for me. So what is that? What is my way of viewing the world? How does my world view play out in terms of this process? And we all have heard the phrase that perception is reality to the perceiver. We take it a step further and say we see the world the way we are rather than the way the world is. And it's explained easily when you look at 2 people in exactly the same environment, experiencing the situation completely differently based on their own feelings and their own perceptions and interpretations. And all of that drives our automatic behavior. So during this process, we will need to explore, and certainly in your own thinking, you'll need to explore what drives my automatic behavior, and is that the best behavior that I need to explore my entrepreneurial venture and entrepreneurial spirit, and how does that play out? So I will touch lightly on the concept of mindsets, and I like to use Carol Dweck's work here, where she talks about 2 specific mindsets. And the question that I like to ask is, how will your mindset hold you back? Or how will your mindset help you move forward rapidly? Because if you don't understand where your mindset kicks in, then it potentially holds you back. And you've got to explore in your own mind, what does that mean for you? What does it mean for you? And as I talk through this, you have to be brutally honest with yourself and say, when am I what? And which mindset is likely to come out? We all display both of these mindsets potentially, but some of us default more to the one side than the other. and it's interesting. So an entrepreneurial mindset is a set of beliefs and thought processes and ways of viewing the world that will drive your entrepreneurial behavior. So let's have a look at these two mindsets. So the first mindset that Carol Dweck talks about is the closed mindset. Now, some of the most intelligent people in the world have got a very strong closed mindset. They go, I don't have to put in effort because things come easily to me. I'm smart, I get things quickly, and I can easily apply it. I don't know if you know who Jack Welch is. He was the CEO of GE for many years and has written a number of books. And if you read his book, you will see that he displays a closed mindset very, very often. Things like in the one example where he says, I don't even remember the guy's name, but he says, I had to let Joe go because he wasn't smart enough to get what I was saying. So that's a closed mindset, because it goes, he's not smart enough, instead of going, how can I say it differently? And the reason why this is important is, if there's any concept through the entrepreneurial workshop where you feel that a concept is leaving you closed, you need to explore it and shake it up and debate it and bring it to the forum so that we are able to explore it fully and to help you work through it. So we'll all have some of these things, and you can read some of the processes that happens there. But people with a closed mindset tend to avoid obstacles, whereas people with a growth mindset tend to embrace obstacles, and they see effort as giving them the results and mastery. So these two mindsets are directly opposing. And the important thing is that for you to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to embrace the growth mindset, and you need to embrace the notion of, the more effort I put in, the more likely I am to get the results in the time that I want. And as long as that effort is the right type of effort, and not the quote that I think Albert Einstein generated or is attributed to quite often, and it goes something like this, and it's probably different, but the concept is that if I keep on hitting my head against the same brick wall expecting a different result, it's a sign of insanity. So to what extent are you perpetuating and repeating some of those concepts, and how will you do it differently? So that's the important thing around mindset, is to understand that entrepreneurs firmly need to grasp the notion of a growth mindset, and grasp the idea of believing in their ability to learn, to adapt, to succeed, and to move forward, and to explore what that means for you. So those are some of the concepts that will get you to think about and weave into the program. So managing your mindset, and this is work done particularly by Amy Cuddy, who's a social psychologist, whose work I love. And she talks particularly about two of the neurotransmitters, cortisol being the stress hormone. And as we become stressed, cortisol goes up, and it starts driving chronic stress, and then chronic anxiety, chronic fear, which then drives our defensive system and takes us out of our thinking into our defensive space. And these two networks don't work well together. So testosterone, on the other side, is reduced, and testosterone is linked to confidence. If you don't build your testosterone, then you start reducing your confidence. And if we're stressed, then it has the effect of pushing down testosterone and up cortisol. So we need to understand this notion. Now, the reason why I've got the superhero here is Amy Cuddy in particular talks about the Wonder Woman stance, and we've all seen it. Put your hands back and you lean forward and you push your chest out and you stand up, and you just stand like that. Now, people often laugh when I explore this with them, because what they don't realize is just 2 minutes of staying in the Wonder Woman pose, just 2 minutes of taking a high power position, and a low power position would be sitting like this, holding your neck, looking down, whereas a power position would be opening yourself up, sitting backwards and exuding confidence. Just 2 minutes changes the chemistry in your brain. And it's a biological shift that reduces cortisol, which has the impact of reducing stress, and increases testosterone, which has the impact of increasing confidence. Now, men are born with approximately 8 times as much testosterone as women, but it also starts reducing from about 30. So Robert and I don't have too much left. So it does become more in balance as we age. But it's important just to know that if you do get stuck, that just taking in the right posture will change things. And we'll do some breathing exercises through the Experienced Entrepreneur Program. And I'd like you just to for a moment, sit forward like this. Everyone, just sit forward like this and take a deep breath. I know we can't see you, Susan, but I think you're doing it. Just take a deep breath in and out. Now sit up and take a deep breath in and out. Can you feel the difference? What happens when we're stressed is we hunch over as we work. And as we hunch over, we're actually reducing the oxygen flow to our brain. We're reducing our ability to do our best thinking. We're impacting our mindset. We're impacting our neurochemical balance. So some of the breathing activities and exercises that we'll link to the program will also teach you some healthy breathing techniques, which will help you open up your thinking, open up your ability to actually take in the information and to drive different ways of moving forward. So I hope I've given you a little bit of food for thought around that. So let's talk about the program structure. So we sincerely believe that there's an entrepreneur hidden in every one of us. You may not have explored your entrepreneurial spirit fully yet, but I see that you already have done some of that, Susan. And it may take a little bit of time to fully awaken that spirit within. But the curriculum of the program is really designed from an adult learning perspective to help you demystify some of the entrepreneurship thinking, and it'll certainly help you to understand what it means to declutter your attitudes and your behaviors that will prevent you from fully stepping into the entrepreneurship space. So we'll explore a number of those concepts as we go. We'll explore this notion of what is entrepreneurial thinking and acting. And it's entrepreneurial thinking and acting is a dynamic methodology which was designed by the faculty at Babson College together with the Global Institute of Experienced Entrepreneurs, which Elizabeth Isede is the founder of. And Elizabeth was instrumental in the design of this. And thanks for being online with us, Elizabeth. So it's that aspect that drives our imagination and inspiration that is sustained by us acting. And we use this model to identify and create the things that really matter to you. And then by taking swift, confident, smart, and consistent action when we're faced with the unknown, we are able to move forward quite easily and quite quickly. So it's designed to put the entrepreneurship into the hands of many and to help hone your entrepreneurial thinking and acting skills throughout the workshop so that it becomes second nature to you. And you're able to act smartly and act in the right direction. So once you know what it is that you want, why you want it, and how you will make it a reality, and understand how to drive those actions on a regular basis. That is the structure and the process that we will employ. So there are a number of other modules. Obviously, we'll do some decoding where we delve into your life, different decade by decade, exploring how your entrepreneurial thinking and acting has been developed over the years, and identify your innate skills and patterns and your experience. We'll then look at the anatomy of ideas, where we look at how to take good ideas, where they come from, how we validate and actualize and implement those good ideas. We'll then explore the experience equity inventory, where we help you to build your brain's trust and network, and explore it. And then, as Robert says, he will drive the branding module, where we look at how to market in the social media world that we live in, this world that we as the older generation perhaps don't understand all that well. So how do we communicate, and how do we develop our value proposition both verbally and graphically to be able to market appropriately in this world that we live in? And also understand that entrepreneuring is a verb, that we need to learn to trust our experience and to stop second guessing ourselves and overthinking, but ensure that we have focused thinking and that we can move forward quickly and put in the right activity. Then, of course, money, as Robert said, we'll also explore the financial aspects, the startup costs of capitalizing your business, and different financing options and so forth. Get you to do some thinking around that. We'll explore that failures are learning opportunities, and as long as we grab failures and actually work through them and see what does this bring for us, and how do we shift our thinking so that we don't shift into that closed mindset where we go, oh, well, I can't do this, I'm just not able to, which then shuts your thinking down. So unicorns and acorns as well, understanding that acorns might be small, but they can be just as good as big unicorns, and exploring our thinking around that. And then also building a legacy and an exit plan. How do we develop an exit strategy so we can move into exit at a point where we want to, where we need to? So that's more or less the structure of the program. I know that Ingen is going to talk about a value proposition and offer in terms of joining the program. There's also an opportunity for you to ask some questions and explore our thinking as we go. So Ingen, I don't know if you want to perhaps first chat about the offer and then engage in conversation. Does that work?
Well, I think first, if someone wants to ask a question, and Robert, is there anything that you would like to add to everything that is being said, because you're also one of the teachers in the program?
No, I'm certain that Eugene covered a lot. You know, showing what the program is all about. Obviously, the mindset to start with is a very important topic within the program, and then obviously, you know, we give an overview of what it takes to start your business at whatever age. And we have had participants well in the 80s that started their business very, very successfully. And we have taken all that experience into this program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I always like it, Robert, that you mentioned it is a very holistic program. It is not about, you know, only this or only that, or we're going to write this business plan and things like that. It's very holistic. It takes you from the cradle to the grave. That are your words.
Right.
And the thing is, when I listen, and I don't know about you, when I listen to Eugene, this program becomes even more fantastic, you know, doesn't it? It is, you feel that you have something fantastic to offer, of course, in collaboration with Elizabeth and the Global Institute of Experienced Entrepreneurs. But it is when I hear you talk, and I hear you talk about that scientific explanation also, you know, what is the thought behind it? That is really fantastic. So Eugene, thank you for that. Anyone who, Susan maybe, or your husband, I know he's there as well. Are there any questions? I know Elizabeth is so fantastic that you're here, but not feeling well. So I'm going to leave you for today. So, Susan, anything? I see you're unmuted, but I don't hear you. No. No, I don't hear anything. So what I would like to do, and then maybe after the things that I want to share, that Susan, we can still have a moment that you ask your questions or maybe type them in the chat. I am going to share my screen now so that we can move into, because we really think that this program is such great value that we do want to bring you an extra offer that we want to make it available to as many people as possible. So I am going to share my screen. And again, it is a collaboration between the Global Institute of Experienced Entrepreneurship and the Wize Move Society. So we're really, really grateful that we can share this opportunity with you. So what do we offer? Just to recap, 7 weeks, proven concept, successful concept, starting April 3. That's the next group that will be starting. 6 international experts who have been there and done it. They're all in this age group. They're all entrepreneurs. They're all very experienced. So that's good. Different backgrounds. So that's good. Peer-to-peer learning, we learn together, and it is really amazing in the last groups to see what they can bring for each other and how they cheer each other on and really make change happen. And we do, of course, like to ignite your entrepreneurial mindset, that thinking and that acting. Well, you just heard from Eugene how that actually works. So we give you at the end those first ideas. Are you going to start your business? That's one of the options. Or maybe you already have a business and want to upgrade that. That's also very important. And maybe also develop an entrepreneurial mindset because you do want to stay in the job that you currently are in, but you do need that entrepreneurial mindset in the organization. So that is also one of the opportunities. So if we look at the total worth and the offer for those who are not yet members of the Wize Move Society, if you really look at the program that we bring, that 7 weeks proven concept by 6 international experts, that is worth 895 euros. And looking at other programs that are being brought to the market, then this is not even such a high price. We're going to put in an extra bonus, and those who are not yet a member of the Wize Move Society will have a 6-month access to the Wize Move Society online platform. So you will be a member for 6 months. And believe me, after that, you're never, ever going to leave again. So that will be in total for you as a non-member of 978, etc. Not a bookkeeper, so I'm not going to mention what is behind the decimal, the point, whatever. But we're going to bring this to you now for 350 euros. So that is a huge discount. If you are a member of the Wize Move Society, and they always get more discount, more bonuses, so that's already a reason to become a member. Total worth and offer for the members. So again, the 7-week concept bonus, they will have an individual personal coaching hour that is worth 125 euros. And you will have an extra Wize Move Society masterclass or workshop of your choice. There's a lot of workshops that are being offered at the Wize Move Society. And there are many workshops, for instance, what Robert is doing with his, building networks, building your professional network, for instance, on LinkedIn. That is one of the workshops or masterclasses that we offer that can be of interest if you do start building your business. So that's a total worth of 1,065. And you will now be paying 295 euros. So this is for members. What is important for now? This special offer is only for 72 hours. And it's only for those starting in the program on April 3. It's 7 weeks, Monday. It's Monday at 5 p.m. CET. So I'm not going to change the time zone, but for those who are on the west coast of Canada, you can do it in the morning, so no problem. And it will be a max of 10 people who can benefit of this special offer. Tomorrow, entrepreneurship also means investing in your company and, very important, investing in yourself. And here you will do both. So tomorrow, you will receive an email with the link to the recordings. Again, summary, special offer, and the link to register. And mind you, and there's the skateboard of Eugene again. I really wanted, go back to the playground and do that thing again. We need to be, we have to incorporate that fun part as well. So thank you again. And I'm going to stop share because I did see something appear in the chat box. Oh, it was Elizabeth. Sorry, for some reason, our audio is not working. Okay, so if there are any questions afterwards, it's fantastic. Just contact us and let us know. And we are really, really looking forward to see as many of you as possible starting in April 3. And there will be other programs running later in the year. But, hey, especially if we're not 23 anymore, this is what we have. This is where we start, and let's get that business going. So thank you very much. All have a wonderful day. Hope to see you on April 3. Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Elizabeth, for joining us. Thank you, Susan and your husband. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheerio. Bye-bye.